Hey, welcome to this radio video. About a little more than a year ago, I reviewed MultiPSK on my channel, and we are at, I believe back then, version 4.20 or 23 or something like that. There have been improvements since then on the software MultiPSK, and you know, I do some digital decoding sometimes, and a lot of you out there say, were sending me, oh well, use MultiPSK. It's a great piece of software, and I didn't use it a lot for the really major reason that MultiPSK is just so, the interface is just so bad, and that's what I hate about this software. The FLDG software has a very nice interface, easy to understand. It's easy to choose the modes, change the modes. On MultiPSK, it's just so difficult. But I continued using it a little bit, and now this weekend I decided that in the past 4 days, actually, I decided that I would decode digital modes only using MultiPSK to really get a good feel of how it works and how it is. And so what is the conclusion that I come to? Well, here you see that I'm decoding some BPSK 31 amateur signals on 20 meter band. So you see here, it's hooked up to the radio. I'm on the 20 meter band right now. These little high pitched tones are BPSK 31 signals, and I'm actually decoding one right now. So, what is my new review compared to the last one? Well, here's goes. Apart from the fact that the interface is bad and it's very difficult to go around and find what you want, I have to say MultiPSK is quite good at what it does, and it usually decodes signals very well. And actually, I did a few tests and compared FLDG to MultiPSK, and even though FLDG is a great piece of software and easy to use if you're not really used to decoding, I must say that on many modes I've kind of noticed that MultiPSK seems to be better at decoding, seems to be more solid even when there's a lot of noise on the signal. And I decoded everything, every type of signal from this software, and even CW, which is Morse code, because I really wanted to try everything. I must say the CW decoding, the Morse code decoding, was one of the first things that I noticed how solid it actually decodes a Morse code signal. FLDG has a lot of difficulty on Morse code, and if this MultiPSK software really nails CW signals quite well, and that is good because not a lot of software actually are good at decoding CW signals, especially when the CW signals are sent by a human, because a lot of Morse code signals today are sent out by computers, and a computer Morse code signal is actually very stable in its length between each dot and dashes. It's very precise. But when it's a human, and especially when it's a human that's not used to sending Morse code, now it varies a lot, and that's where software have a lot of difficulty in decoding. And actually, even human-sent signals are really well decoded on Morse code on this thing. I've decoded BPSK, I've decoded radio teletype, I've decoded MFSK, I've decoded Olivia, I've decoded JT65, and I've also decoded a WeatherFax chart. That's pretty much the signals that I came across. If I had not the occasion, didn't have the occasion to actually test any other modes. But on these modes that I've tested, it's really good. But the problem is always there to haunt you. The fact that you choose a signal. An example, I decoded an Olivia signal with it today. And what's annoying is that if I give you an example here, if I go into Olivia mode on the interface on the top, it took me a lot of time to notice that here are the settings for the mode. Man, look at how difficult it is to see that these are the modes they have to choose for the Olivia signal. And that really is what makes me a little scared of using MultiPSK. It's always very difficult to search where you have to change modes, and you know where you have to really get anything working in any mode you want to try. But from my 4 days of using it, I have to say that it is so good at doing what it should do that actually I've learned to actually maybe love the piece of software because it just does so well what it needs to do. Apart from that, the options, some options are really amazing. For example, when I decoded JT65 signals, one thing that's really hot is that you get this map here. And this map actually puts little dots on the signal. So maybe I can try one here. Here we go. So here I'm on JT65 signals. I'm gonna let it decode a few and you'll see what I mean. So JT65s are mostly, you know, contacts, real quick contacts between stations. But what's really nice is that when a JT65 signal gives out its grid locator, which, because in amateur radio, there's a map with, the world is divided into grids, into locations. So instead of, you know, when you need to do a quick contact, instead of saying, well, I'm in Montreal, Canada, I'll say my grid locator, and it gives you a general idea of where I am in the world. What's cool about MultiPSK that FLDG won't do, well, actually FLDG doesn't do, first of all, JT65, that's one thing. And what this one does, and does really well, is the fact that when you decode one, let's see if we can decode one soon, it will put a little dot when the station actually says which grid locator it's located, because most contacts in JT65 will give that grid locator. And so when the computer actually decodes it, stations here, here's the grid locator, JO23 from this station. And behold, look at the map here. I'm gonna get a little close up. It just put a dot right there saying, oh, look at that. That's where I'm located. So this is just so amazing, because every time a station sends a grid locator, you don't have to search that grid locator on some map somewhere, or you just get a dot on the world map saying, here I am. That's where I am. And it's just so amazing. That I love about this software. This is something I had not tried when I did, you know, the review last year. So that's why I have to say MultiPSK is a great piece of software for decoding digital modes. The only bad thing is that interface. You know, the interface, when you look at it, looks like a Windows 95 interface from another era. So here, station DN84 is another grid locator. And here on the map, station in the United States, and this is where little dot showed up. Red little dot is the last locator. The black dots are often past locators. So for example, the red dot will say this is the last, the most recent signal you have decoded, and the black dots are most of the time, you know, the other signals you decoded before. Also, there's an automatic log here. As you see, that's another thing I like about this software, is the automatic log here that tells you all the stations you've heard and what time and what mode. So here you see the BPSK 31 signals I decoded, and now the JT65 are here. And you even have the country automatically showing up. This is amazing. I love this software for that. So, okay, I'll have to say that this is really a good piece of software. Most modes I've decoded are really, really well done. The only thing that probably the one making this software could do is improve the interface. But then again, if you're used to using MultiPSK, what happens is you slowly get a hang of where the modes are. So, for example, I've surprised myself that after 4 days, I started changing the modes quite fast in that little grid here. And the software also comes with professional modes. So the professional modes are the ones that, for example, ACARS for the air traffic routes, and all sorts of digital signals that are sent by, marine, military, and so on. So all of these modes are there, and that's also a very big plus in the MultiPSK software. MultiPSK has much more modes than pretty much any other piece of software out there to decode. All you have to do is understand how it works, and this is amazing. So also this is a receive and transmit software. So this, if you're an amateur radio operator and like digital modes, you have to just hook it up to your radio, and you will be able to send also through MultiPSK to digital modes, sending digital modes on the amateur bands. So it's also for sending, not just for decoding. Apart from that, everything works pretty well. Like I said, everything works like it should. What you need to do is do a little basic setup. It decodes a lot of stuff. It can even track stuff with, for example, NOAA 19 and stuff. It's amazing software actually. And you have all the modes, panoramic modes and all of that. But there's one little catch. A lot of the modes and a lot of the decoding will eventually pop up things like, okay, you have a maximum of 20 entries on the free version for the log, or you'll have limits that it's going to give you. For example, the map here told me, oh, you have only 10 minutes in this version. You need to register for it to be fully operational. So all in all, quite easy to configure. Actually, pretty much automatic. I didn't really need to play with any settings on the computer to have it working, which is nice also. It decoded which input to use, and of course, like any software, you'll probably have to play a little bit if you see that it doesn't receive well or decode well. And then apart from that, pretty nice. You can display the clocks. There's some clocks that you can actually have UTC and local. So if you want to have the time show up all the time, as your working stations, having clocks always very useful. So you have clocks, you have everything. So I must say, MultiPSK, even with its bad interface, is better than FLDG and many things, many modes. If you started using some digital software like FLDG and feel that you want to maybe try something else, why not download MultiPSK? That is at version 4.28 right now, which is the latest version right now of this software. And why not give it a try? For the rest, it's pretty much like any software with the waterfall and the signals appearing on that waterfall, the screen for decoding on the bottom here where you decode everything. Pretty nice. And you know, everybody that told me, oh, you know, MultiPSK is a great software. Yeah, it is true. It is true, even though the interface is bad. So I hope you enjoyed that second look at MultiPSK, that second little review, and that maybe it will give you an idea of why not download that piece of software and try it out on a radio, in a computer, and try to decode digital modes. So thanks for watching. 73.